Hey, John here again. It's Alternate Picking Monday, so that means there's going to be some alternate picking tips and tricks here. As always, we also have a lick that we're going to go through, and in this one we're actually going to use that lick to show today's practice tool. And today's practice tool is variations, and it's basically a way for you to future-proof your technique when you're working on any type of lick. So you break that lick down into its components, and then you build it back up again with different finger combinations, making sure that you're not only working on that specific lick and overusing certain fingers, which is going to come back and bite you in the long run if that's the only way you practice. Alright, here's the slow version. We start on the 12th fret of the low E string. Alright, so this one is based on the E minor pentatonic, just the regular 2 note per string positions. We start with this one, the root on the index finger on the low E string. So we're just going to go up that one. Then from this note, you can see this as the beginning of the descending fourths. So that's going to be an upstroke if you alternate picked it starting with a downstroke here. So down, 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 and up here. So you go up, up, down. Then we move that down to the previous position. Just play the top 4 notes on that one. Then you move down yet another one. And then this one you go down to the root. So it's basically 3 parts. The first part, second part, and then the third part. So it's not that complicated. I think it sounds more complicated when I talk about it, but if I play it once more slowly, you should get it. If not, you can just check out my tabs. You have the tabs on my Patreon, and then you get access to all of the previous lessons as well, both here on my YouTube channel and the huge lesson library on Patreon, so literally hundreds of lessons. Or you go to my YouTube lesson subscription on my Teachable, which is also linked down below. But anyway, if you watch it again, I'm sure you can get it. You're starting with a downstroke, strict alternate picking. Alright, so the thing that I want to cover today in terms of practicing is what I call variations. And basically it just means that whatever lick you're working on, you take that thing and make variations on it for your practice. And I like to do this very systematically, so again, it's not necessarily going to sound very good, but the upside to this is that you're going to prepare your fingers to do all kinds of different combinations when you improvise or encounter other licks, which I think is way more beneficial for you than if you simply work on a specific lick over and over and over and over again, because inevitably certain fingers are going to be worked on more than other fingers, which will lead to imbalances later on. So I think it's better to at least do some systematic practice, and then you can work on licks if you want. But if you do the systematic stuff, you're going to ensure that these guys, for example, won't fall behind. We take this lick we just played before. What I do when I make variations, I basically look at it. Okay, so I have this. It's 2 note per string. It's pretty easy to follow because it's 2 note per string the whole time, so it's easier to make this into this sort of variation that I call it. And what I do then, I will take, in this case, since it's 2 note per string, that would be, for me, that would mean 2 finger combinations. And the available 2 finger combinations would be 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4. So I would take this lick and basically take the structure or the contour of it. Basically meaning that I'm keeping whatever right hand pattern I'm going to be using in the actual lick, but I apply this to these sort of dummy fingerings now. So in this case, I'm just going up the scale, right? Move down. So if I translate that into 1, 2 fingers, it's going to go like this. And as you can see, I also removed any hole steps or whatever in the position shifts, because I don't really care about that. I'm just caring about getting the right number of notes per string, but also that I'm actually getting some position shift. So I'm totally happy with just doing half steps now. So I'm basically just doing the same sort of contour that I did with the real lick, but with only 1 and 2. So I do that first, and then I do it again with 1 and 3. Then 1 and 4. 2 and 3. 2 and 4. And then finally 3 and 4. And the benefit of this is that it's so easy to move it around the fretboard, but also get a lot of different reps working on the same right hand pattern, but also exercising all my left hand fingers. So I'm sure that no finger is going to be left behind. So hopefully this all makes sense. I've notated all this stuff in the tabs. You can check that out if you want. But even without you checking out the tabs, you should get the concept. So the way that I practice this then, once I've figured out the actual variation on the lick, I'm gonna find out how low on the fretboard can I start. And in this case, I can just check, okay, I'm starting here now. Okay, so it means that if I start here, I will end up here. So I basically can start where I end up and then reverse engineer that. So I know I can start on the 3rd fret and then I will not encounter any open strings. So I started on the 3rd fret, go through it, and I combine this with my other different practice approaches. So transition time, for example. So I would just go through it slowly but with quick transitions. One and 3. And then so on, 1, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4. And then I move it up 1/2 step, keep going until I've covered the entire neck. And that's way more productive practice than you're just sitting there playing the whole lick over and over again in the same position. And also, yeah, sure, you could play the whole lick and transpose it. This way of doing it though would still be more beneficial for you in the long run, because you're not avoiding certain fingers, whether it's conscious or not. So you get everything basically. If you like this way of practicing, I have another video on this in my alternate picking deep dive subscription. You can find a link below to my Teachable for that as well. So basically I go through some 3-note per string variations as well. You got the basic idea here, and that's pretty much how you apply it. So it's just about seeing the structure of the lick, finding out if it's based on two fingers, 3 fingers, 4 fingers, whatever, and then go through the available variations. So you're basically future-proofing your technique and not only working on a specific lick. If you like this stuff, you can sign up for my newsletter. You will get even more exclusive practice tips and tricks that I don't share anywhere else. And you'll also get access to 17 free lessons straight away. If you have any questions, please post them below. And if you have any issues regarding your technique or how to practice or any of that stuff, please just post that below so I will have something to focus on in future videos. Would also be really helpful if you could post links to these lessons so more people can find them, and of course like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next one.